New for 96. With your hosts, Kevin McCauley and Chris Nguyen.
Why do they call it a lav mic, though?
Lavalier.
What is a lavalier?
Nobody knows.
It sounds like lavatory mic, which
Right.
I'm for the hilarity. But I don't actually know. Why don't they call it a lap mic? Because it's a lapel. A lap mic.
That's a good thought, Jerry.
Is it? Okay.
Good one.
All right. Okay. Oh my God. Hey, Kevin.
Good evening.
That's not what you're supposed to say.
What am I supposed to say? This is welcome to New for 96.
Okay. All right. That's a little out of unison because now I'm about to say new for 96.
I thought you would jump in at any moment.
Well, we're going to synchronize this now, are we?
Oh, damn it. Okay.
Welcome to
New for 96.
Okay, off
Yeah.
the charts again.
Yep, that was good.
How are you?
Good. You sent me a picture of your cars in two garages, and I couldn't tell if it was a Photoshop or if you actually have two storage units next to each other as a weird facsimile of a real garage household situation.
Yeah, what normal people have when they buy houses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I decided to buy a house with 0 garages.
I love
I don't
what
know
you've
why.
done with the exterior.
Thank you. Yes. So I have currently 2 garages now. And so the Celsior and the Porsche each have their own spaces, in part because I wanted to switch the Porsche to Haggerty, and you have to have a covered space for that.
Oh, God, why are you switching it?
Why? 'Cause
You're
it's
trying to
less.
sell it.
But the new car is gonna have to have
Okay.
like
okay.
the air cooler is gonna have to be
fine,
stored.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
So
okay.
this is preparation because I locked it down. I had to lock it down at a certain rate, and so it was a really good deal for the weekend because I leased out a really huge space, but it was really linear and
It was too deep. It was too deep theoretically, or 1 Celsius deep.
Yeah, it was 1 Celsius deep, so it was like 10 by like 100 feet. And it would have been really annoying to get like the back car out if I needed to. So this makes more sense, and it's not
Yeah.
that much more.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So I'm happy for that because now, I can put 2 cars there instead of keeping 1 car out in my driveway.
Yeah, and now you can park the BMW in your driveway. Is that where it currently is?
Yeah, because I feared for its life.
Yeah.
Honestly, because I have had like multiple cars sideswiped on the street for no reason other than that it was.
You think there was no reason?
Yeah. So now I have a 2-car garage located half a mile away from my house. So an easy walk to get to.
I would say it's more like 3/4.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't walk there.
Right.
I mean, who would walk that far?
Not in Houston.
No. Like, I drive to my mailbox, which is directly outside my door. So, anyways, so I'm happy about that. And again, in preparation for getting an air cooled because I'm going to have to keep the Celsior in storage to qualify for Haggerty's coverage, and the air cooled would be the same situation. So this is for that primarily. Now, you should ask me where I'm storing it, because I'm storing it exactly where I decided to leave out of anger because of their lack of just care.
So you're the same place where you had the leak.
Yeah.
But you assured me, when you had the weird long unit, you assured me that there was nothing above it that could leak or fall apart. Now that is no longer the case?
Now that is no longer the case because I ended up moving into a space that I declined twice because there was there's like a fire main line, like the fire the sprinkler system.
Oh, yeah.
Like the main line goes into the storage unit.
That's good. That's like the exit row of the airplane, but
Yeah.
that's where your cars have extra
No
legroom.
possibility for leaking there.
Mhm.
So it shoots across both
Hey,
units.
if a fire happens, they're in the right place.
That's true. That's true. Or if like because basically it maintains pressure all the time, these lines. So like it's stationary plumbing that basically has like pressure upon it like at all times. So something bad may happen, but here's the thing is that the spaces are actually kind of deep. They're only slightly less deep than the long space that I had. So I parked the car like way in the back of the space. So it's like away from the pipe. So should it burst, it will but slightly sneeze upon the car.
Is it a less of an annoying, like, crazy angle to get in or out?
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay,
There is, however, in front of it, there's a leased out parking space in front of it where there's like a really decrepit like camper. Like it's like one of those cartoon like two-wheeled campers.
Two-wheeled?
Yeah, it's like a cartoon.
Oh, like a trailer.
Like a trailer, like a camper.
And it's like beige and it has an assorted variety of stripes and different...
Yeah. I'm almost certain that like someone lives in it, but I'm not quite sure. But it looks really terrible. But someone pays like a monthly fee to keep this thing like there. And so that's the thing that's like in front of my storage unit. But I can like get in and out like much easier.
Oh, that's
so,
great. That's great.
Yeah. So there's that. That's a good kind of resolution for my parking situation. But other than that, like this is so stupid, but both of those cars that I park in there are black, and I'm so excited that they won't continually be rained upon, so that I have to clean them with frequency, like every 2 days.
Well, a perfect black car is one that's never driven and is kept untouched.
Yep. And you can't put a car cover on it because it will like mar it upon taking off the cover.
Oh, you better believe there's swirl marks.
Yep. So now it just gets dusty because I can't put a car cover and like it's still like there's air around it. But at least it won't get like rained or shat upon by humans because of the neighborhood I live in. So I'm glad for that. So now on to the next.
Oh, well, okay, this is related to our homes, but I finally have finished my office in my home.
I saw.
And so there's a window seat, and so the fabricator was like, what, he's like, are you going to make a cushion for this seat? And I was like, oh, yes, I will put Laura to work making a cushion, because she is good at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
She's very good at sewing. And I was thinking, like, what fabric I would do.
Yeah.
And then I went to the obvious choices. We already have some houndstooth in our house. But the...
Are you going to make it automotive
Well, everything is.
related?
It has to be.
Yeah.
But, so that, like, 80s, like, Porsche fabric that says the Porsche script, like, diagonally, it's like $345 a yard.
Okay.
So I think it's a little...
My straight friend, while I like the idea of this, do you think it's a little too thematic?
It is, but it's like subtle. I mean, it's kind of subtle-ish. But the one that I think I'm leaning towards. So I was thinking, this is why I brought this for a topic of discussion.
Yes.
And thank you for saying I'm straight. I don't get that a lot. The other thing that I wanted for this discussion was to get input, because I thought like, oh, maybe like GTI Tartan, because it's not, it's nothing like, it doesn't have to. It's automotive. It's cool. But then the one that I kind of settled on, just because it's inexpensive and whatever, is like on the 911 G model Club Sport. It's those really cool sport seats where it's just black with like pinstriping.
Okay, that's really cool because I would love that in an air cooled. Like,
yeah, me too. It's nondescript, like it doesn't say Porsche, and it's cool looking, and I could find a black pinstripe fabric for like pennies.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be really cool.
But do you have other suggestions?
I have plenty. Yeah. They're probably not automotive related, but
no, I mean I know that's why I'm asking, like furniture or Eames or mid-century or something related that is, interesting.
I mean, like
consider.
I wish I could suggest something like something made out of like recycled prototipos or
Oh, yeah.
Like you're sitting on a fuke. Can't you tell how uncomfortable
Yes,
it
you're
is?
pulling metal shards out of your bottom.
Yep. Well, it happens.
Mm.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna think about this. I have to think about this.
Okay, well-
your office, I think it's gonna need some warmth. So like probably maybe leather, like brown leather would be kind of nice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. I see the uh I am trying to think of like not mean things that I say to my own clients when they make bad decisions.
Wait, are you saying my stripes is a bad decision?
No.
Oh, just rejecting your leather is immediately bad.
And by no I meant maybe.
Okay.
No, I think the stripes would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll talk about this.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm going to ask your input for many things.
Do we know anyone who has access to Photoshop that we might mock this up?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're bad graphic designers.
I have a pirated copy of Photoshop 5.5.
Yep. 1.0. You know that I started using Photoshop when I was like 12, and I used Photo Stylus because it was like
sighing so much. I'm sorry if you
whatever.
can't hear Chris right now.
Whatever. Like that's what got me into like sort of the career that I'm in currently.
Me too, but I was in high school and I was using 5.5. I think 5.5 was the first version I had.
You really in
Yeah.
okay.
High school.
Were you doing like weird things like photoshopping like boobs on like bikini? I don't know what.
No, I was photoshopping I was photoshopping like my friends' cars, so think like Integras with body kits to have like
this is
further
the same thing as I just said.
further aerodynamic enhancements and like carbon fiber hoods. Like I could make like a fake carbon fiber hood in Photoshop. I could lower it in
This
Photoshop.
is a lot.
Yeah. Should I stop talking now?
Yeah, this
Okay.
is bad. Would you say that you used to have an interest in Japanese vehicles and the modifications of?
Yeah, definitely.
I had like a brief period where like I pretended to be kind of into that because like the subset group of friends I had were kind of like one of them had just bought like a brand new Civic Si in the blue
EBP, Electron Blue Pearl.
Yeah, and at that time I had just gotten the Protege5. And he was just like, he was talking up like what I should do to this thing, and I had zero interest in like modifying it.
Yeah.
I would have actually loved to have turned it into like a Mazda Speed Protege5.
Oh, like
which would have been really cool.
Yeah, like all the MP3 like suspension.
I would have done that. I would have done that because like it's like even then I was more interested in kind of like stock plus than I was like complete.
Yeah, I mean I've always been like that.
Yeah.
And I mean and we my friends and I, like my friends had more money to spend and they put like turbochargers on their Hondas and stuff and did more extreme mods, but I always we all did autocrosses and would try to do things that would help for that. Not like we're going to win everything, but just to try to make like an improved driving platform.
That would have been really cool to build like a Protege5, like a Mazda Speed Protege5.
You should do it. You should see if you can get a third bay at the storage place.
Actually, I for 1 second when I was looking for like a daily driver, daily beater, like okay, so difference between daily driver and daily beater, like for me was that like I actually thought about like because the GTI was kind of more of like a beater for me because it had aesthetic flaws.
You are upsetting so many of what you call.
It was a beater.
The people you call GTI people.
Oh, I did say that, but I also thought about getting a Protege5 and reliving that memory, even though like it was a solid car. It was a loose driving experience.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Okay, so you had an E90.
Yes.
And then you later bought a 3 Series of that generation wagon.
Yes.
Since you already had a Protege 5, you should buy a Protege of that generation sedan.
No.
Yeah.
Why?
Because for the reason I just said. Just for the reason I just said.
Like the opposite?
Yes.
Just a different experience?
Yes.
I honestly like would probably hate driving that car.
That doesn't matter. That's not important.
A Protege 5 would have been kind of cool. Like even a normal one, like it was a 2-liter, 130 horsepower, 135 pound-feet torque. Blah blah blah. It doesn't really matter. It was very slow. But it was a good car though. Like honestly, it was one of the most reliable cars I ever owned.
Yeah.
And I like that car in yellow was really cool.
Oh, the MP3?
No, even
5?
just the regular.
Oh, yeah.
You could get it in yellow, and it was just like at the time, compared to the selection that you could have, like in that range of car, like that was really cool.
Totally.
Yeah, and the Protege5 was like spec'd out, just kind of like standard.
It only came with good wheels.
Yeah, it only came with good wheels, and it only came with like just like better seats. I wouldn't say good seats, but like it was meant to be kind of like a very specific experience. And Mazda at the time was doing their kind of like zoom thing, and while that's kind of corny, like it is like if you're talking about like a casual enthusiast car, Mazda kind of had it, and still does. But even then, though, I mean, they did it much more so than the other brands. I mean, even though the SCR was kind of a different car at the time, like I think it was kind of lame during that generation, like the early 2000s.
I just remember when they marketed that it has Brembo front brakes.
Yep.
They had to specify that the fronts were Brembo.
And actually, my little brother at the time, like his first car was a Sentra SCR. No, it was a Sentra SE 2.0. So that was his first car. And then my youngest brother, his first car, like just a couple of years later, was a Ford Focus. I don't remember the variation of, but
was the hatch sedan?
It was he had a sedan. He had a sedan.
Oh, okay.
It would have been cool if he had like a ZX3 or something like that.
I really consied though. Like I really liked those when they came out.
Our dads forced us to like drive stick. I willingly did it. They were forced to do it. So and my dad didn't like. I mean, he drove stick, but he like didn't drive one himself. Which I think was a great. I think that was honestly, I'm so glad that he did that because it just created an interest. Basically, it could have gone the opposite way in that it was kind of like weird, like dad lessons. Like you're gonna drive a manual.
Yeah. Well, I know like we were old enough that there wasn't smartphones then, and we had basic phones, but like there was no such thing as distracted driving when you're 16 and you have a manual because you're like you have to be aware at all times.
Well, that was my college car because my previous car was a Saab 900.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not gonna delve there again. Yeah. But wait, so you were forced to drive a stick, but not for your first car?
No, actually, I willingly chose the stick Mazda. So,
okay.
Because the Saab was such a nightmare to own, like, even though I loved it to death, till death, because that's when we parted.
So when you had the Saab,
yes,
which I would love to talk about as little as possible, when you had that, you didn't know how to drive standard? I
did.
Okay. I was just asking.
Yeah. Well, I did not well, probably, because I learned my best friend had an 84 Celica convertible that was a stick, and he let me drive that everywhere we went for like a while, and so I learned to drive stick on that, and so I had driven just stick randomly, but my first car was an automatic, that Saab 900. What was terrible with that? So it was the NG 900, which means new generation.
So like LCI?
Stop dying and turn into a skeleton as I talk about Saabs.
I am already fading away with the gust of wind.
Yep. It was a 95 900 SE V6. It was a GM power plant.
I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah. And here's the thing, but we didn't talk about the fact that that car made it to like whatever transmission was in it was terrible. Like it was really a parts bin special. Odds? I know. So that car was like, it was something like 1.5 seconds slower to 60 than the stick version, which I guess that's probably about right.
I think in the 90s that was pretty common.
Yeah, that's probably about right. But like it was pretty, no, actually, okay, wait. So 0 to 60, I think on that V6 automatic was close to 9 seconds, and the stick version was like 6.9. So it was almost 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Still, that's like vast.
for sure.
And then if you got the turbo, which was cheaper at the time,
yeah,
it did like 0 to 60 in like 6.5. So
Okay.
I don't know why anyone got the V6. It was like this weird transversely mounted like 2.5 liter from an Opel Vectra. Okay, all right, okay, all right. You could, if you can hear the sloshing of Kevin's eyes rolling in the back of his head, that's what's going on right now. As
I
we talk
said I
about
would love to
Saabs.
talk about the Saab as little as possible.
And I was about to go into the aviation history, but
No, I mean, I think we've like you and I have talked about this, but when
can I talk about one thing
Oh, God
in that
damn
like
it.
I felt superior to my friends at my all boys Catholic school.
and they had rear wheel drive cars.
They had like they were all getting E46, like first gen E46.
Oh God, those are so good.
Like I guess there would have been 323s at the time.
Yes.
Because none of them got like the nice ones. They got like the base model, but
Right.
still, that was kind of neat. But I felt quite superior with my Swedish engineering, my key in the middle. And anyways, yeah, my car was not great. As I described once, the steering wheel column snapping on the freeway and the steering wheel spinning freely as I was moving at 60 miles an
Can
hour.
you wake me up when you're done talking about this?
All right. Okay.
No, I briefly when I was younger, because I'd been in a car so much. When I started driving a manual, like when I was learning to drive manual, I was like, "What if I hate this? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like everything that was ingrained in me from studying car magazines for years at that point was like, you've got to to be a real driver, you have to have a manual. Which, whether or not that's true, well, it's not up for discussion. But
You
it was.
know-
But I was like, what if I actually hate driving? What if I hate driving? And what if I hate driving a standard?
I remember thinking kind of the same thing when I was a kid before I even could drive. Like manuals just seemed so daunting. And I remember like I had an obsession with the Volvo 850 Turbo and the Taurus Show. The Show was available in a manual. I was thinking like, oh man, it'd be so much better in an auto because anyone can drive it. And this is like me as a
Mash
12-year-old.
that go pedal.
Yeah. And the 850 Turbo only came in a manual, or I'm sorry, an auto here. And that to me was just kind of like a perfect like normcore pairing.
I have an SHO question for you.
Yes.
Does the overt dadness of the current and last 5 years Taurus Show tarnish the original? Because I maintain, I will debate anyone that the current Taurus Show is the most unsexy car on sale.
I would have to agree. I think that the Show now is nothing more than literally just like a trim line.
But
I mean,
it's
like
got the Eco Boost.
it's got the Eco
which is
Boost.
deeply unsexy.
I know, but isn't it amazing though? Like what car nowadays, like what normal car nowadays, like elicits kind of the same reaction like that car did back then. Like the Taurus Show was special. Like I mean, it wasn't like Ferrari special, but it was like a car that was notable.
Okay, but what wasn't it always like for dorky dads?
Maybe, I don't know. Was it like I thought it was really cool? Tim Allen had
I
one
saw
in
it
the
in
Santa,
Santa
Claus.
Claus.
Yeah,
At least
and that was his real
way.
car. That was actually his real car.
No
in real life.
way.
Yeah.
Wow. I read the
Uh,
IMDb trivia for that. Didn't see that.
But it was a cool car. Like it was just like here's like this super normal car. It was like the best selling car in America in 1992 or whatever. But also like here's like this hopped up version that was not that much more. It was like 25 grand or something, which I don't know. It's like $98,000 now. I don't know what money is, but but it was cool. Like, and I can't think of a car like a normal car. Like, what is a normal car? What is a normal car now that has like a performance variant that is cool? I could be wrong, but is there something?
I mean, like A4, S4, like
That's no.
that's not normal.
I'm talking about
car.
like what you would find at a rental car stable, but there's a cool variant.
Well, I guess now that the Cobalt SS is gone, we really don't have anything left.
I thought about the Cobalt SS for 1 second.
Yeah, there is. I mean, there is no like Accord Super Sport or
and
something.
like the Chevy SS doesn't count because there's no normal version of that. There's like a police Interceptor version, but that doesn't count. Certainly, there isn't like a Ford version in the current show. I don't consider that to be a thing. Like the Camry never had its kind of performance variant. What was the cool car back? Okay, so back in the day, the Tour Show was a Tour Show, and maybe it was just a Ford thing. No, it was was it an American car thing? Because they had the Contour SVT, which people roll their eyes at, but I thought it was
cool.
really cool.
No, I drove them in period, and they were amazing.
That was really cool.
They were really amazing.
And then you had like the kind of like the Chevy SS variants of cars, which back in the 90s was cool-ish. Like, but now I just can't think of like
No, you're right. There might be a decent version of the Fusion, but I don't think so. I definitely don't think so. Because the MKZ, which is a Fusion, you could get with I think you could get with like all-wheel drive like 400-ish horsepower.
But even then, like it's kind of like all these cars, we kind of make it as a given. If you get the nice model, it's probably got the boosted engine that's faster, and so like they're all kind of fast now, but none of them are special. So
every car has a 2-liter turbo 4.
Yeah,
so
basically.
You get the hot version of that motor.
Yeah, they're all hot. So it's kind of a shame. I mean, like, and is it also, here's the other thing, are more special cars, or should I say like above average special cars, more accessible now? And that's why there aren't as many normal special cars, I guess. Like, if you want to get an Audi, if you want to get a BMW, if you want to get a Mercedes, like, not to say those are necessarily special cars, but like if you wanted a slightly elevated experience, those are pretty easy to get into nowadays. They cost probably less than a top of the line like Camry or Avalon or whatever have you. No, you're rolling your eyes at me, you don't think so? Like, like if you wanted like,
are you saying a C43, which is the same as a 63?
No, a C43 is like ludicrously expensive.
Yes.
So no, like if you consider, if that's a special car, certainly. That's like a normal special car, but like if
you're talking about like a CLA versus a Avalon.
Oh god, I wasn't thinking about the CLA. No, like the CLA is nothing but a brand marketing exercise, but like
a large tangent.
All right. This whole podcast is a tangent.
I know, but we've got stuff to get to.
Oh my god. I was just gonna say that nowadays it's a lot easier to just get like a nicer experience than it was back in the day, like where there were kind of like, if you like moving between like a Camry V6 XLE and like a 3 Series was a big jump in experience, like not necessarily performance wise.
Now it's still a big jump, all that stuff you give up when you go to the 3 Series, like Bluetooth and like power seats and stuff.
Yeah, the Camry's a lot nicer.
Yeah, because all that stuff is optional. Yeah, the BMW still.
Yeah, but that was my point. My old man rant, I guess. Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Mr. In a Hurry, what is it that you would like to talk about now?
Well, so I had some. I sent a picture to you of. These are my records. I keep them in like a accordion binder thing, and I was going through my stuff. Yeah, maintenance records. I was going through in my office today, and I saw this, and I found the one for the Mini.
Yes.
And it's amazing, like, because we bought it's the only car I've ever bought new, and we bought this Mini in 2012, and there's like so many cool little things that we just threw them in the records book, and it's like there's a little like card thing that you could hand out to people. It's like well, lots of people are going to see you driving your Mini. They want to know more about it. Like all this little fun stuff that they like. Many fun things.
Anyone ever stopped you to ask?
No, but that doesn't matter. But it's just like the sense of occasion that it all gives you. Like there is so many weird things.
You know who probably helped come up with that was Crispin Porter Bugatti.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they totally did.
Yeah.
They did.
They were the ad agency that like came up with like Litz Motor and the whole thing.
And then they left to go. They dropped Mini to go work on Volkswagen and do the GTI stuff, which I loved. Yeah. And you hated that car. I didn't hate the car, but I liked the advertising for it. We both used to be in advertising, and so
like this is very, very relevant in that
Yeah.
aspect. But like Crispin Porter-Bogusky out of Miami, like did help to form like the modern identity.
They did. No, that wasn't. They didn't do Porsche back in the day, did they?
No.
Okay.
I think the only car
Was
counts
that
they've
TWA
had.
Chaite or something?
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know who had Porsche. I know that Fallon did BMW iconically. They were the ones that did Ultimate Driving Machine.
Oh.
And then I should
You mean
not
that
speak.
forgotten that?
I should
that
not speak
forgotten
ill
tagline?
of like the company that then decided to throw out Ultimate Driving Machine
Yeah.
because I knew people who worked for them. But at any rate, yeah, no, that's cool. I see. So is that the folder? Kevin's showing me a picture of like this kind of pastel folder. It's not pastel. It's kind of pastel with the Mini logo on it.
Yeah.
So that did you do that or did it come? With
No,
this?
I did that. We
Okay.
did that on like a vinyl
Okay.
cutter thing. But
I keep all of my maintenance records in manila folders in my George Nelson Action Office roll top desk.
oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I was wondering if you had a better system than the accordion folder things. It appears you do not, but it's fine. It's fine. I do
It's
have
amazing.
a manila.
Have
I have
you
a manila.
seen it?
I have a manila folder for the
I'm gonna
Prius.
take you
See,
upstairs.
it's written in
I'm gonna
Sharpie.
take you upstairs later, Kevin.
Okay.
I meant that as terribly as it sounded.
Oh, but anyway, I found my owner's manual for my SC,
Yeah.
which was delightful because I lost
That's
it
not
for
it,
a
is
few
it?
months.
Because that looks corny as hell.
This one, that's it.
Oh fuck! Sorry, I just spilled my drink.
No,
But Kevin, go on while
Your
I
water.
clean this up.
Okay, well, I found the owner's manual to my 911 SC. Oh dear God. And I had lost it for a short time because we were moving, and I had brought it into the house right around the time of moving, and could not locate it for the last few months. And it turns out it was with my record. So this is not a very good story. But I might post the picture up to make that worth it, possibly. And again, I'm sorry. But if I may,
It looks great.
yeah. Okay.
I'm
wow,
just joining
you're
back here.
Okay. Well,
Well, thanks
thank
for
you
the
for saving us.
easing in there.
Thank you for
I
saving
wasted
us.
like half a glass of whiskey.
Oh, well,
My
that's terrible.
God.
I'll pour you some more. But anyway, I was just in Eugene, Oregon, and Portland, and
Say, doesn't Daniel live near there?
Yes, our friend Daniel, former guest of the show, only guest of the show up to this point.
Yep.
Daniel Sloan, who I feel terrible talking about because I feel like I'm talking about him behind his back, and
We are.
there's a 3% chance he'll hear this. But I was explaining to a friend today. I saw Daniel, and I saw his Land Rover, which is currently still disabled. I was talking about...
Did we even talk about that? Like the curse that is like your... You basically said like a car not in motion cannot brake, where in fact it can brake quite
and did.
quite catastrophically as it had for him.
Yeah, so Daniel, to make it brief, was in travel for 3 weeks. He flew back to Portland, and he found that his Land Rover LR3, which he talked about gushingly on this podcast, despite not having driven it, and I proclaimed on that episode that it could not break down if he wasn't driving it. It broke down. It is sunken on its air suspension.
Yep.
So I was relaying this to another friend today, and I was remembering the things Daniel told me, and I'm like, this sounds insane when I say this, because Daniel had said, he's like, well, my mechanic really recommended it. My mechanic recommended that I buy this Land Rover LR3 with 170,000 miles.
Yeah, the mechanic who at the time had opened his wallet as a moth flew out and said, a Land Rover, that's a good idea.
Yeah. The same mechanic talked him out of buying a Tacoma. He was interested in the Tacoma.
Yeah.
The mechanic was like,
The mechanic said, a Tacoma, you don't want that.
you don't want that. The bulletproofness of those is overstated.
Yep, that's what I hear.
An LR3
Is that what they say?
with approaching 250,000 miles. That's gonna be your thing.
So anyway, Daniel sent us a photo after he got back to Portland, just shortly after the podcast, of it not kneeling, but rather all four corners squatting upon the oversized off-road tires that were lodged in the wheel wells, so much so that the air suspension, what was left of it, could not raise the car.
And it was stuck and really couldn't move
It
well.
was stuck and could not roll, basically.
Yeah.
And we felt very bad because, like, that is an awful. You couldn't even like he couldn't do anything. Like, so, like all that like kind of generic talk about like air suspension being like a weird and complicated thing. As it turns out, it is true.
Well, he was texting us at midnight, and I was like looking at like an LR3 form, and
Yeah.
I was trying to send him fixes based on reading 4 posts.
Yeah.
And I think I made the situation worse. I think
Yeah,
he was
why
like,
did you do that?
I think he was really
Oh my
annoyed that I was like,
God.
"Here's your fix: the
Yeah.
brake fuse."
Yeah, Daniel, of course, is the type of person who would never ever look up
Well,
like
to be-
potential fixes for a car.
Just to be frank, it does seem like the brake light fuse is responsible for a wide array of problems on that vehicle.
Let me tell you, I'm familiar with air suspension at this point now.
Are you? Are you? You still have that strut sitting by
I
your
still
door.
have that strut, and I'm about to buy 3 more struts. But my car, I've prepared, even though mine is an ancient air suspension system. I am prepared because like one day I will find the car kneeling or completely squatting because like the whole like system is not functional because it's a stupid technology.
It's great.
Yeah. It's fine. Like, it's great when it works, meaning that, like, you will enjoy it if you were the first owner of this system. And then, like, subsequently, after the warranty period, good luck. Like, all air suspension is going to fail. I mean, everything on a car inevitably fails. Like, that's kind of the thing.
No,
But
that's an interesting point because air suspension, best case scenario, not great. I'm saying in a performance application, air suspension is not good.
no.
And in ride quality, you say that the Celsior is not as good
No.
as even this 3 Series.
Here's the things that,
But, like the benefit is versatility, and
versatility.
everything else is
here's the thing,
compromised 100% of the time, all the time.
There are like alternatives, like air suspension. The part of the versatility is that one, you have like height adjustment, say for instance, and even the Celsior, that 92 Celsior has height adjustment. Like I can raise it into high, and it raises about an inch and a half, and that's kind of cool.
Oh yeah,
But like, it's kind of useless for the most part. Like, excuse me, an inch and a half is not tremendous by any means, and it doesn't.
an inch and a half is fine
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is. I mean, an inch and a half on a car is fine. It's
in any application.
yeah. But the thing is, I would rather just have like a balanced coil or spring setup, and not like instead of dealing with it like every few years, like dealing with it every 10 years, and I don't know, so many thousands of miles, tens of thousands of miles. But the air suspension is really. It doesn't matter what kind of car. Like, I actually recently read a thing because I almost bought an LS430 as a daily driver before I bought the E91.
I thought you said SC430, and you had my
Just
attention.
nearly. Not by intention. A friend of mine was selling one really cheap. It was the LS430, like ultra luxury, which basically it's kind of like the Celsior. It has like reclining rear seats, massage, and there's like a cooler in the back, etc. And it's a short wheelbase, so it's very discreet, and it was also only like $5,000. And so I thought that would be kind of cool, except that it still had the original air suspension. And so I kept researching like modern Lexus air suspension, which they still use to this day, and LS460s. So the previous generation of the LS, many of them came with air suspension, and they failed with such frequency that if you find a used one, chances are it's not a good deal, no matter what price, because it's going to fail on you and it's going to cost you tremendous amounts of money, especially because it's a modern car with modern air suspension. And my 92 was, each strut was $1,300, so multiply that accordingly. Anyways, so air suspension, neat idea, terrible tone.
Yeah.
All right. You're looking at our screen. What's next, Kevin?
Oh, I went to the Pacific Northwest. That's what we were talking about before you had a extended air suspension diatribe. I was there for a Mazda event.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So it was wonderful to be invited. It was a fantastic event.
Of course.
It was excellent. So they actually had people drive from San Diego to Seattle, and they broke it up into 4 waves.
I will say it looked very cool.
I was in the last wave, and we, so
and that MX-5 looked really good.
It looked amazing. We had 2 cars, so there was about 10 cars in our group. I think there was like 15 or 20 people or so. Only 2 of them were manual. So because I had emailed my preference, they asked me, "What do you want?" So I got a manual both days. The first day was a ceramic RF.
Wow,
that was the first time I've
color.
driven the RF. Yeah, it's amazing.
That color.
It's amazing. And this had the club everything.
Yeah.
The Recaro seats, which were a little bit firm and a little bit unforgiving.
Wait, okay, so was this the updated MX-5?
This was the 2019 with 180-ish horsepower.
So you got the extra power that, like, just announced, whole thing.
Yep.
Pretty good?
Oh, it was very good. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Okay. I mean, I drove that, and I drove a more basic version. I mean, it might have been a Grand Touring, but it wasn't. It didn't have all the performance things like the Brembo. So the second day I drove, it was a blue, like a very cool blue. Like throughout the day, Dana was texting me like, "Oh, this blue is so cool."
Yeah.
Like I would paint the M3 that color because it's like a very muted gray blue.
Yeah,
but super metallic.
Mazda does really good things with the MX-5. Like, it looked great.
Yeah, no, it was. I was partnered with this guy Johnny, who was amazing. We really hit it off. You spend 20 hours in the car for 2 days with someone, and you don't want to kill them, and that's great. That's always a good sign. We really got along. We were both total enthusiasts. He builds cars, like tuner cars. Like he built a gorgeous RX-7 for SEMA, and he built an RX-7 for SEMA, and then was asked to help build an RX-8.
Yeah,
which he now has. Like he had to build an RX-8, and it's. I mean, they're both really, really cool, and he knows his stuff, and he was as thrilled to be there as I was, and we had a lot of fun. We were driving, and we got to drive many amazing roads. But what was interesting is this wasn't like a normal like drive. Like this wasn't like a journalist drive event. Like we drove from Eugene to Portland on whatever route we wanted. Yeah. And then we drove from Portland to Seattle on whatever route we wanted. Yeah. For good or bad. So we got a little lost, but we had a ton of fun, and it was an amazing experience and a lot of seat time in the car. Yeah. And a lot of stuff. And so like a couple takeaway like anecdotes just about the experience. Whereas we were in Portland, or outside of Portland, we went east. We went along the gorge. If you know Portland, you know the gorge. We went to Rowena Overlook, Rowena Pass, Rowena Plateau. It's one of those. Yeah. And it's this amazing thing. It's this horseshoe-shaped road, and you can overlook it. And we were there shooting video and shooting a lot of stuff. And this couple, they were from Philadelphia, and this guy and his wife, like they fell in love with our car. Oh my god! And he's like, how much is that? Like, how much is that? Is that brand new? Like he had never seen this generation of Miata before. I'm like, well, this is brand new, but Miata was redesigned in 2016. And he's like, this is amazing. I let them sit in it, and he revved the engine and stuff, and he told me, he's like, yeah, back in Philadelphia. Well, he told me after that he has a Pagoda back at home. What? Yeah, he had a Mercedes Pagoda, which is that's so interesting. Cool. What? I know, but what he drives, he has a 4 Series, or no, he has a E93 3 Series convertible. Yeah, I know. Which I will say.
He's clearly a convertible fan.
He's a convertible fan. Yeah. Good for him. Yeah. I would say the E93 is one of the worst designed BMWs. That's what I would say. Like he had in my lifetime. I'd rather get like. It doesn't matter. Here, let me tell you something. Go on. What I'm getting at is why I sent you this configurator. I sent you a screenshot of the configurator because
I saw that.
He wanted to replace his E93 3 Series convertible with a 4 Series, and they do not offer the 4 Series with a manual.
Oh.
Did you know that? And
it didn't even occur to me.
No, he told me that. Of course, I told Daniel, and he was like, "Yeah." But I looked into it. I used the configurator.
Yeah.
You can buy an M4 convertible with a manual.
Yeah.
You can buy a 4 Series coupe with a manual. You cannot get a 4 Series convertible with a manual.
Wow. I mean,
they know their market.
They know their
market. People that hate themselves, and BMW hates its customers.
And like the system that is like the BMW can, just how they output their products nowadays.
But they didn't research that well because they left this guy out. He thought this was like a $60,000 car from the look of it.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
okay.
He was like, "How much is this?"
Fair.
He really had no idea, and
that's fair. I mean,
but he was really impressed. It was cool.
I mean, cool. like, wouldn't that be amazing if you could actually get a $16,000 car?
No, I said 60.
Oh, 60. Oh, dear Lord. I
thought he thought it was a 60. Because he's like, an M4 costs 60. Like, I thought every convertible was 60,000.
But that was kind of the Miata, though. It was like basically a $16,000.
Right.
Like,
well, I might have told him it was the MX-5 because I was I wasn't representing Mazda, but I was trying to use their term of MX-5.
Super onto the idea of him thinking that it was a cheap roadster, not in that it seemed cheap as in quality wise,
right.
That somebody still made like an enthusiast-oriented cheap car.
So I have a friend named Jeff Yip who's a journalist locally, and he lived in Southern California when the NA came out. Mm-hmm. And he was a young, I guess not that young professional, but young-ish. And he saw it on a truck or whatever, and he followed it to the dealer.
Yeah.
And he bought it.
Yeah.
And his sales associate had to follow him home to bring his kids home.
Oh wow!
He bought the car. This is like 1989.
Yeah.
You know Jeff Yip?
Yeah. I don't know him personally, but I know of him.
Yeah. So. If I could just bring this around. So we got into Seattle.
Yeah.
And Mazda had arranged, it was super cool because we had in Eugene like a very nice like dinner, like, event, like a press event type dinner.
Yeah.
And in Portland, same thing, like really fantastic. And then when we got to Seattle, it was like they invited the local Miata club to come out to a parking lot. They got food trucks. They paid for everyone's food, but it was like food trucks and all these Miatas, and it was all these diehard fans coming to see the 2019s.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It was super cool. It was super cool, and we got to chat with all these people.
And the thing is, like,
I have always thought that this generation Miata is, and the last generation, to be perfectly honest, is more fun than your average BRZ or FRS, and this just solidifies. It's like, not on paper it was as good or better, and now on paper it's right with it.
In this generation,
and I know they're not really competitors, and that has back seats and whatnot, but as far as like drivers, cars for under $30K,
that one time we drove that press car. That was really interesting.
It's a great car. It's so good. I drove it. So like through we're talking like miles and miles, many miles of super winding road in the Northwest. Yeah. And I was, rev matching. I mean, it was just such a joy. Like you really, on these roads, you can really feel the weight transfer. You really feel what the car's doing. Like it's so enjoyable. The ergonomics are perfect for like lifting the throttle and heel toe.
It's low power enough to where like you work for it a little bit and like you feel the car, and that's the whole point.
Well, yeah, there's always a little bit of roll to it, and that's the way it is, and I like that, and it's good. You feel what it's doing. You feel what the chassis is doing. You can feel the weight transferring. You can feel it moving around in a great way. It's all perfectly balanced with the amount of power it has, and it's so much fun.
I think that's what's
really
so cool
satisfying.
Like, I think that is a great answer. It's always people joke, but it is the answer for like the inexpensive, enthusiast-oriented car. Like it really is. Like you can't complain.
Can I tell you about two of the people I met at the event? Well, there was a man, and he had this Miata, and it was that Porsche nerds will know it's like Mexico blue color, that bright blue, the Smurf blue that the first NA Miata came in, and it looked amazing. And the interior looked amazing. It had 309,000 miles, and it was
Wow, that's fairly cool. That's
It was
very cool.
amazing. He's like, yeah, well, he's like, it's not original. The engine had a rebuild at 275.
Okay, that's not too bad.
And he's like, some of the body panels have been redone. Like most of the body panels have been redone from dings and accidents.
That's like 10 square feet.
300,000 miles. Like it was impressive. And he showed me a photo of him buying the car, like him sitting with the car in 1989.
Holy shit!
I know.
He should put that on. If he puts that on bat, like with that photo, like he will get like
300. See, that's the thing. We talked about this. 300,000 more miles, I think, would fetch higher than like 175.
When you cross the threshold of like high mileage to like spectacle mileage.
Yeah. That's a really good way of putting it.
That's where like the value starts coming in. Like I guarantee you, if you sell like a 500,000 mile, 400,000 mile SC 911 SC or something like that, and it's obviously kept up and rebuilt in the right aspects, like people would buy that. People would be very into that. I'm sorry. I just watched Kevin like spill like half of his drink.
It was water.
Off of his lap.
It was water.
At any rate, but that's cool. That's very cool.
And then there's another gentleman, and he had a super clean NC.
Oh.
We're talking LCI, NC Miata.
Okay, I have opinions, but yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
The LCI was so
cool.
much better. The LCI was so much better.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's fine. It's fine. If I could choose it from the generations, which you now basically can, NC wouldn't be much
the
choice.
third the NC is the worst, but the LCI like saved it a lot.
Yeah.
The LCI was way better.
Yeah.
So it was LCI third gen. The PHRT.
Yeah.
No, PRHT.
I don't know what
God,
you're talking
I
about.
never know what it is.
What are
the
you talking
power
about?
retractable hard top.
Oh, yeah.
What they call RF now.
Yeah, I tell you what, though.
I'm not asking for opinions.
I am, though.
Oh.
Do you like
the new RF?
The RF versus the retractable hardtop of which is to say the NCs.
The PRHT. Yes. That's a great question. I think so. The RF looks good.
Mm.
I don't know if it looks amazing. I wouldn't get the RF. I spent time. I spent a day with the RF and a day with the soft top.
Yeah.
And not that it makes me an unqualified expert, but the RF, the buttresses that look so cool, like they really hurt the visibility.
Mm.
Like at all times. Like I would say the buttresses are worse than having the soft top up and the soft top.
I could see that.
You can't see across.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
They're they're basically the I guess technically the B pillar.
Yeah. I mean, it restricts your blind spot like significantly. You notice it. Also, I have a problem with the proportion. So when I see an ND Miata, I think it looks insanely like low and wide and flat normally.
Yeah.
Like it looks like a 3/5 scale, like, F type or something.
Yeah.
But then when you see the roof on it, like the hardtop roof, it kind of betrays that proportion, and it makes it look taller and skinnier and narrower than it is.
I don't hate the RF. It reminds me at times like a 914 in style with those buttresses and but
the 914 is like a pancake, like it's so wide and flat and low, and the ND is not.
Yeah,
it's not low. It's not, and it's very.
I'll
it makes
say
it look
that
very narrow.
I don't hate that RF, but like I also don't like prefer it. Like if you're gonna have that car, you might as well. I mean, like it's weird. It's weird to want a hard top on that car, in my opinion, unless you really just bought it as an accessory. Like there's the spectacle. You have a folding hardtop, or like what the RF is now, which I guess you could call it. It is. It's a folding hardtop, but
it is a Targa.
Yeah, it's a Targa. But like otherwise, like
it's really cool, and I might reconsider in the Houston environment. The Targa, the RF is probably the very best.
Yeah,
because I always feel we could go on another
enthusiasts
thing.
won't buy it, but like it's fine. I mean, it's just like It's the similar
Yeah, but
notion of
enthusiasts
the,
might buy it if they want to keep the top on all the time. It's like I don't need a hard top. It's there. I'll get to the last thing about this gentleman who had this facelift LCI NC,
Yes.
and he was complaining to people. He was complaining. No, he was complaining that.
Was this you?
Yes, he was complaining that Mazda doesn't have like bold colors. He actually brought up on his phone like that in Germany, like Mazda in Germany offered this like super vibrant metallic green. And he's like, if they offered that, like I would buy that. He's like, if they offered that now, I would buy an ND to replace this. Also, he had European, like where the fog lights are, like where the little like lower light plastic molding is, like he had replaced it with a European style. It was all very, very clean and elegant.
That's cool.
It was a super nice looking car.
I would have to agree with him. Like,
but yeah, their color palettes are all really muted, and then the red.
Yeah,
which
it's considered.
Which he said, like, he's like, people think the red is the only color it comes in because so many people get the red on the ND because it's the only bright color.
Yeah.
I think they should do my idea. I think they should do like a Miata paint to sample thing where they don't charge $8,000 like Porsche does, and they should like any Miata color ever. You could get on your Miata. Wouldn't that be super cool on an ND, like that French Smurf blue, or one of the yellows?
Cool. That'd be really cool. I wish though
I feel like that would like bring about so much like Miata solidarity.
Why doesn't Mazda currently lean more on their heritage? I wish they would, because the iconic cars, the MX-5, the RX-7. Like, those cars were promoted in a very different way. And
the RX-7 was promoted so well that they stopped selling it after 3 model years.
Yes. Well, it was also very expensive.
Oh, no, it was actually, you know why it was not brought back for 96 was because of OBD2.
Not new for 96, that's for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we go through some literature?
I was looking at the time here and hoping that we would forget about it, but okay.
No, I am not forgetting because I brought something that is very special.
As have I, but just for you, Kevin.
Yeah?
What have you brought?
Well, do you see what that says in the embossing?
I'm really honestly trying not to.
Let me move it in the light. What does it say? Don't look at the gold foil badging. Look at
the gold foil badging is blinding me.
Yeah.
Kevin, can I ask you?
Yeah.
Before I mention what this actually is, how much did you spend on this?
I spent like $6.
That's a lie.
No, I'm serious.
A lie.
I am serious. Say what it is.
He's brought a Prestige Plymouth.
No,
Chrysler Prowler brochure. Yeah.
So
it is embossed with the Prowler face and a fly sheet with the Prowler Comic Sans.
That's just printed.
Oh,
and that's not Comic Sans. That's like Mistral Sans script.
No, it's hard to say.
It's custom drawn. It's custom drawn. Okay, this is Chris won't say it. This is the Chrysler Prowler brochure, and I would like to point out I paid less. I think the collectors want the Plymouth stuff, and so there's Chrysler one. So there's this weird period. I think this is from 2000.
This is a lot more. We should just play the elevator.
No. There's another one on the back. No, I need to. This, I am excited about this. I have been excited about this for a while, but I think it's 2000 or 2001. But after Plymouth went away, they moved the Chrysler. They moved the Plymouth to Chrysler. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why this brochure was cheaper. I think the collectors want the original Plymouth.
Yeah, it's a Plymouth Prowler, not a Chrysler Prowler.
Just wait till you see the inside of this brochure, because I was honestly, I was dying laughing when I started opening this for the first time.
Is that man wearing leather?
There's a lot of leather.
Oh, no.
Okay, all right. Big spread of the silver car, but here we go.
Ooh, the chrome.
It's chrome everywhere.
Yeah, that's a lot of chrome.
The pages are stuck together. That mostly was not before.
That's expected.
This this collage style of like the photographs and stuff. This was something I was real big on in my graphic design. I would do this kind of stuff with my graphic design in the early 2000s.
I've done that for clients who requested it and begrudgingly said, like, what am I doing with my life?
I was real excited about this kind of stuff in like 2002.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, I basically made this layout, but with like McLaren F1 stuff.
Yep.
On my own.
Yeah.
For myself.
Do you see these Prowlers? This, but with McLaren F1s.
Yeah, these Prowlers, they have photo corners everywhere and shadows.
They sure do.
Okay, wait, I'm getting to the piece de
really
resistance.
hope the accessories section has like the trailer.
Oh, look at that auto stick with the drawing.
Ooh, look at that automatic
more chassis
manual
stuff.
stick.
Okay, we're getting to the best part.
Yes.
Trust
If we, how have we not been there yet?
No, there's two best parts. There are two best parts. One of them is why I bought the brochure.
Yes.
And we're not there yet.
Oh my.
Okay, this is the best part, and I'm gonna need you to clear everything off this table.
Okay, you're gonna have to shatter a lot of glass. Oh my god.
Look at this like shitty interior.
Oh wow.
This is like
It's a quad.
36 inches of
like a
shitty, gross
quadfold.
interior.
Wait, is that the center? Is that the center? That's not the center spread. That's a big sheet. I
It's
don't
not
even
the center
think.
spread.
Okay. I was gonna say I really wish they got a custom sheet because I think it's bigger than they. Okay.
Shut
God
up,
damn it.
nerd. Okay, this is a
Ow.
giant. What I'm looking at is a giant spread. It's double fold out on an already weirdly long.
First of
portrait
all, I
or landscape
completely
brochure.
forgot that it was a center speedo
Yeah.
layout. And third of all, I did not forget that it has all the same like components as
Look how
like
gross these door
a
panels look.
Chrysler minivan.
Each door panel gets its own page, and they look so
Like that
gross.
stereo is from like a Grand Caravan.
Everything this is everything. This is it for me.
Oh my god.
It's an
It
okay.
does. Okay, wait.
This-
it has the trailer. And I
This-
thought that was literally okay. I will admit
You will admit this is amazing.
I will admit that I didn't know anything official about the
This
Prowler.
is amazing.
And I did not know an official option was the matched trailer that is basically like a lopped off buttock of the Prowler. And I didn't know that. I thought that was really a weird car show thing that
no,
someone did.
it's real. The
what
trailer.
the fuck?
Interestingly-
that is so bad.
I think the rears on the Prowler are 18s, and the trailer top
Folks.
wheels are 17s.
Do you know what the embodiment of a nightmare is? It would be learning literally all the things you thought were a joke. But are
Isn't this amazing?
reality.
You know, the one thing that makes it better if I had properly researched,
Yeah.
and if I knew that this was originally a purple one and they photoshopped it.
We don't know that.
We don't know, but what I'm describing here. Chris
Yes.
did a very poor job of describing. Is a aerial shot of a orange Prowler, orange interior, with the matching trailer at speed. It's fantastic.
That is a lot.
This is amazing. Isn't this good? This is like the best thing I've ever brought, except for the
You
scepter.
should know that you own this now.
I'm so proud.
The
So
mailing list you must be on.
this one in 2000, whatever this year is,
Yes.
2000. It only came in silver, Prowler orange pearl coat, and Prowler midnight blue.
Oh, that is actually really hilarious. The color palette.
They all are called Prowler.
That is hilarious. There are literally three colors.
There's three colors is fine, but it's Prowler silver, Prowler orange,
my
and Prowler
God.
midnight blue pearl coat.
What is this car?
All the,
Why did it exist? I've known about it for so long, but
it had
still.
the auto stick, Chris.
Oh god!
yeah.
Oh, they spent. They hit them with some UV. Oh, money was spent. Oh, blindingly.
Do you see this cover? How much money was spent on that?
Kevin,
Yeah.
my periodical
It's not going to beat that. I'm sorry you have to follow that
is
up.
also American, but
This is a shock to me.
might it also be
Oh, God.
European?
No.
And I will say this:
Oh,
I haven't even
Wait,
opened
you said
it.
stuff have arrived. You said stuff has arrived. So that means you have something new. So this might be interesting.
I actually haven't opened it yet because I thought that you should be the one to open it.
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Okay. What? Holy shit. Oh my god.
I don't know what's inside of it. You probably do.
Oh my god. Yeah, I know everything about this. This is a 1995 Ford Probe brochure. I owned a 1995 Ford Probe, and I have the 1996 and 1997 brochures, but the 1995 I did not
This
have.
is your model year.
I don't know how to open this.
I don't either. That's why I didn't open it. It was very difficult.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What lies beneath the cellophane?
We may have to get a knife.
Oh my god. They literally just wrapped it in cellophane. You just have to unwrap it.
I can't see where the seams are.
Okay. This is
Can we cut this?
yes. How Kevin is like futilely batting at it like a cat, trying to open like a can of tuna. What is this? Like how it's
You do
folded
this.
right there.
You do it.
Oh my god!
It's not as easy as it looks.
You just gotta find this
Yeah, how's that going for you?
the seam.
We're cutting this out.
We're not cutting this out. This is the intelligence level that people should expect. What the hell? All right, we got it.
Do you?
It's like it's not even like cellophane wrapped. This is like packing tape.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Oh hell.
Oh.
You're moving my microphone. All right, here, you do the rest of this.
Fine.
All right.
Wow. I wonder how many photos are reused in this. Wow, that's a good picture on the cover.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Look at that. Tornado red.
That's laser red.
All right.
That's the color of mine. Is that a super thick cover? I think it is. That is a laser red GT spread. Ooh, that interior looks good. It was a good looking car. Wow, this is a headline that says probe ergonomics.
Yeah.
That is very unfortunate.
Probenomics internally.
Yeah.
Kevin,
The
describe what
SE
you're seeing.
Well, okay, the SC sucked. This is a white SC spread. And the regular probe also sucked.
Wait, so there were multiple beyond the GT?
Unfortunately, yes. There was multiple. They had a 4-cylinder and were not very good.
Now I die and turn to a skeleton.
Hey, you asked me the question. Ooh, what does it say about the swirly spokes? Right.
Were they directional?
Fixtures 16-inch direct. It says they're directional in that they
turn in a direction?
They are not directional. Cast aluminum wheels. 225 50R16 radials.
That's significant.
It was. This car was really good at like autocrosses and stuff because it had a lot more grip than even like a Integra GSR.
Yeah. That might be a lie, but yeah.
It had more grip. It had more tire. That's
like,
a fact.
according to marketing terms,
No,
like
I'm talking about the
quotes
tires. I'm talking about the tire size.
between like tire rack ads.
I'm talking about the width of the tire. It had a beefier tire. It had 16s. It had 225s. My 911 doesn't have that in the front.
No, but your 911's from 1912.
Yeah. The ownership experience.
Ooh.
Where was this shot?
It's hard to say
This
that.
is amazing.
That is amazing. Look at that. The 95
Wow.
Ford Probe. Got the wheels.
Laser red tinted clear coat.
Oh,
Ooh.
look at that. You could get clear
So
coat
lovely.
or not clear coat as an option.
No, I think they're all clear coat.
It's hard to say.
There's not like 2% of this brochure is the GT.
Yeah. Well, because that's the whole point. They were going to sell all the other cars based on the GT.
It was the Halo Pro.
It was the Halo Probe. Wait, okay, so the 95, if you'll
Yeah.
explain.
Okay.
The Heckenbrow, the light bar.
Yes.
So this was a car that
It had the light bar thing in the back. I think the design was better when it had the GT across the back, but I'm pretty biased. But
Okay.
the base models didn't have that.
I liked the GT across there. I remember that actually.
Where I don't see a picture of it. I don't know if it's pictured in this.
No, because this is the transitional.
No, the GT was that year, but the SE didn't have it.
Yeah, the SE had like a weird old like
This
plate
was
in the middle.
This was how it was on 93 and 94 on the
that
GT.
was kind of like a production like nightmare must have been, because like you had to have a different bumper where the plate was like,
yeah,
instead of being in the light bar, it was in the bumper, and then the other cars had it in the light bar.
Safety and handling. Every year they had this picture of the bar in the door, and I was always like, "What the fuck?"
We have safety by way of a bar.
There's the club in the door.
In the door.
Oh, this is amazing.
It's yours to keep.
What
'cause
type
I don't
is
want that.
What type is this?
Oh man, is that like Bodoni?
Or like Big Caslon?
Might be Caslon.
No, it's not Bodoni. Jesus, come on. Who are you? This is.
Sorry,
that looks
I
Big
like
Caslon.
Bodoni, so
I
maybe
do
it's
too.
Caslon.
Bodoni is a modern. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Bodoni is a modern with
Whatever.
higher contrast.
Look, I'm drunk. I'm squinting. I don't know what it says.
Okay. Well, this brochure was excellent, but it
Yeah.
ended too soon.
Because it's 5 pages long. It's not even like proper printing, like page count.
It's amazing how they did that.
How did they get the fifth
They had
page
to
in
chop.
there?
They had to chop 3 off.
That's yours, by the way, because I don't want that.
Oh, thank you. I'll put it in my stack with the Prowler.
Yeah.
I have a stack of other. This is the best cover of any of the Pro brochures I have.
It's a good one. It's like a little teaser.
I have 3 Pro brochures.
A little
now.
like nip
Thank you.
pick, a little nip
Wow.
of the
I'm very
Pro.
grateful.
Anyways, so we're going to go here on 3 hours. So, Kevin, I think this is a podcast.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, we babbled. We were hoping that it was going to be slightly more structured, but it wasn't, and that's fine. This
Whose
is
fault
what
was that?
new for 92 is.
We don't have to do it in unison at the end.
I know. That's why I said 92, because I thought you were going to say 96.
Yeah.
But you ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. All right. Well.
Wait. I mean to say,
do the closing, because I always forget that.
we should redirect all of our listeners to check out the Instagram New for 96, where we'll be posting pictures of all these brochures.
Telex us at 555. All right, you do the
613
Yeah.
2986.
69.
Yeah, we couldn't get 69. Also, if you have any comments or anything, message us at Gmail at New for 96, spelled out.
In that order.
Yes, at gmail.com.
Yes.
And that's all.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.